Good morning everybody, this is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's June the 2nd and it's Acts chapter 15, and this is a crucial passage. It's the sort of passage that 99% of Christians are not aware of or of its significance, but it is a crucial passage in the experience of the early church, a very crucial passage. Let me give you the background. The gospel had been spreading amongst Gentiles through the ministry of Paul and Barnabas and through other people at the Antioch church, and it had caused a great deal of results in the conversion of Gentiles. That's the point. It was the conversion of Gentiles that was making a big difference. However, there were certain Pharisees, a sort of a group of Pharisees who had made a profession of being Christians themselves, and they had gone up north into the territory where Paul and Barnabas had been working, and they had been starting to tell the people how that yes, it's good that they become a Christian, but they need now to be circumcised and to keep the Mosaic law. Paul and Barnabas resisted this to the utmost degree. You see, what had happened is the Gentiles had become Christians quite separate to Judaism. And it was very important that people understood that if you were a Gentile and you became a Christian, you didn't have to be circumcised and you didn't have to keep the law of Moses as the Jews were obliged to do. So, now the Jews were not obliged to do it in the sense that they had to do it in order to be saved. No, far from it. They did it because that was part of the old covenant and also part of their social life. If you were a young girl converted in a Jewish home, you just could not separate yourself from the kosher laws. You could not separate yourself from all of the laws of Israel because you'd be put out of the house. And Christianity never breaks up families. That's something that's very important. We need to understand that. So, Paul and Barnabas come down to Jerusalem because they want to confer with the other apostles, and they have a big meeting. They call it the Council of Jerusalem. And Paul and Barnabas recount, and Silas recount, how that the gospel has gone out amongst Gentiles, and it's all agreed. The apostles are all completely unanimous that Gentile Christians are not to be required to be circumcised and to keep the law of Moses. And this then was written in a letter from the apostles to all the churches explaining this situation, and they gave it to Silas and Judas, who was also called Barsabas, and they gave it to Paul and Barnabas, and they sent copies of these letters to be circulated amongst the Jews, especially in Antioch and Syria and Cilicia. And it's a long letter. They praise Paul and Barnabas for the work that they've been doing. These are men that have hazarded their life for the gospel. But the most important thing it says in the letter is this: it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us. It seemed to the Holy Spirit and to us to lay upon you no greater burden than a few necessary things, that you abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication. Now, if you do these things, you will be doing well. But as far as these other guys who say, these Pharisees, these Christian Pharisees, as far as these guys, we didn't tell them to tell you that you were to be circumcised and you were to keep the law of Moses. We didn't do that. So, this is the point really. The point is, this letter was sent amongst all the churches. It was called the Decree of the Apostles. It was a decision that the apostles made under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, that said that the Gentiles are not required to convert to Judaism in order to continue their Christian lives. This is a very central point, something that as Christians we need to understand and appreciate. So there's my thought for today. If you're a Gentile, you are set free from all obligations to the law of Moses, and you are not required to be circumcised. God bless you, and look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.